Another week, more personal information compromised. This time, 39 million people affected.
A hacker released the information, but where'd they get it?
Thor Schrock is here to compute this. He owns Schrock Innovations. Good to see you, Thor.
Hi, Thor.
Good to see you guys. Thanks for
39
having
million
me.
people. Did you see Mark Zuckerberg's Twitter account also got hacked?
Yeah,
Somebody got his password. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's the thing. The password reset questions, people give honest answers. And so the Guccifer hacker that hacked into Hillary's server and all that stuff, he got into all those people's emails like Colin Powell because he read their biography, like where did you grow up, where did you first go to school? And then he answered the question.
Deductive reasoning on
Yeah,
it.
and he got in.
Yeah.
So you know,
Wow.
a lot of security experts actually say you should make up fake answers to those questions, just keep them consistent, and then that way there's
We
no.
can't
yeah.
remember. I
But,
can't remember anything.
This one is a little different because it wasn't anything that any individual person did wrong.
Okay, so what did happen?
All right, so there was a hacker who went out and this was a protest release of 39 million stuff. And what we're talking about here is usernames, passwords, social media accounts, email addresses, all kinds of personal information, date of birth, all this stuff, anything that you would put into a checkout form, for example, on a website. Your name, your address, your credit card number, all that stuff, all in this release, 39 million people. And how he got it, astonishingly, was a lot of businesses, especially small businesses, they go out and they say, hey, we're going to put up an e-commerce website, and they go hire a company to do the website for them and set up the e-commerce and everything. And these companies are not password protecting the databases. So these databases are just floating out in cyberspace, and they're assuming no one's ever going to find them. And so, but, we host with Rackspace. I'm sure that they're going to be good on security. Or we host with GoDaddy. Nobody can hack GoDaddy, and they just assume that they're safe. And so what this hacker did is he said, this is ridiculous, and he went out and found over 10,000 databases doing a thing called port scanning. You set up a computer and you say scan, and it just works all day and all night looking for databases. He got all these databases. When you put all this stuff together, these are all text files now from a database. 6 gigabytes of personal data. Now, if you've ever had a text file, if you've ever written a really
takes
long
forever.
paper
Yeah,
and you save it
it's
and you
like
look at it, it's like 23 kilobytes,
right.
you're like, oh, that's a lot of work. 6 gigabytes of
right.
text.
Not video, not pictures.
Yes.
So what do you know, if you have a company out there that's hosting your website, how do you know that they're protecting all the information?
That's what's tricky. Is you probably hired a company because you're not a tech person yourself, or you know enough to be dangerous, but you really want this done right. So you hire a company who you believe is going to do it right. There are companies, like if I named the names of these companies in Omaha, people would know their names of companies that are not doing it right now. So for example, when we do web design and web hosting for customers, we use Rackspace. There's nothing wrong with Rackspace. Rackspace is a perfectly fine company. It's just they don't secure your server unless you pay them to secure your server. You can take your own security, you can do your own security.
So they consider that an additional service.
Yeah, but you better secure your own server. You can't just buy a server and then expect it to be secure. So we buy firewalls and we close ports and we do all the stuff you're supposed to do. We go so far as to take the email off the server. So we have all of your web stuff over here, and then under a separate, even more secured, encrypted email service, all the stuff that Hillary Clinton didn't do. We've got all your email over here. You could have better email than the Secretary of State for $30 a month at Schrock Innovations.
No, but you're like,
Yay.
that's true though.
Yeah.
Because you're locking it all down.
Yes.
Whereas somebody else might not know to do it, or they might try to cut the corner and just assume somebody else has it covered.
Yes.
You don't make that assumption at Schrock.
No, we never do.
Yeah.
We can't. That's the problem. We can't. And so when customers come to us and ask us to take over stuff, a lot of times they'll say, well, Mr. Schrock, you're charging $30 a month for your hosting, and over here at GoDaddy, I can get it for $6 a month. Why is yours more expensive? The short answer is, in part, security. When there's a security update, we're going to do it for you. We're not going to ask you if you want us to do it. We're going to do it because if we can't have those compromises on our boxes. We got to have everything up to date and secure. So when you go through this stuff, a lot of places think, well, you know what? Security is expensive, and what are the odds that they're going to find me? Let me tell you an example. When I opened my Papillion Service Center, we had a local phone company. Again, a company that if I told you the name, I'm not here to bash them, but you would know them. They're very prominent in Omaha. Set up our phone system for the Papillion Service Center. 24 hours after they turned on that phone system, it was hacked because they didn't change the default password in the phone system. Like the most rudimentary, stupid thing that any tech person should know to do when you get a new router or a new camera system for a business or anything like that. You got to change the default password. So they didn't change it. The first phone bill, we had $4,000 of calls to the United Kingdom. And we called Cox, like we didn't make these calls, and they're like, do you have a phone system? We're like, yeah.
I like
Did you change
how
the
you
default
went-
password?
No.
I don't
I
know.
like how you went through the whole thing. I'm
Right.
not going to say who it is, and then in the middle of the sentence.
No, it wasn't Cox.
Oh,
okay.
Cox was the phone company.
Oh.
No, Cox is who provides us with the phone
Got it.
service. The separate
I was
company
just
set up the
laughing
phone system that
'cause you-
gives us the handsets to hook
You
up
were
to
making
Cox.
me laugh.
It wasn't Cox.
So,
no.
so what can, well, I mean, I'm guessing they can call the service center. What
Sure.
do business owners do if they want to make sure that they are locking down their customers' information so this doesn't happen to them?
Yeah, and when you get to the business level where you're talking about transferring websites and moving emails and things like that, it can be a nightmare process. So at Schrock, what we do is, we have a policy whether you're coming or you're going. So if you decide to go somewhere else, we make the transition as easy as possible. We do everything for you. We say, tell you what, let me handle the emails, let me click the links, let me put the passwords in. That way you don't have to do anything, and we can get it all transferred. Usually it takes 24 hours or less, and we'll remote in, like if we change your email passwords and everything and get you set up on secure socket email as opposed to regular old POP email that most businesses use. When we set you up on that, you got to reconfigure your computers. Our technicians at Schrock can remote in and do that configuration for you. So
Make it painless.
yeah, the bottom line is call any of the service centers, ask for web design. They'll transfer you to me or Alfonso, and we can get you all set up and good to go.
One more question. How do you, sorry, I just want to know, how do you know if you're one of the 39 million who was just affected by this latest deal?
There's not a lot of
It's
times.
not like a big list
Well,
from a huge company or something if it happened.
it's a catch-22. Same thing happened with the Ashley Madison leak. So if we post the leak online, so you can search to see if your name is in there, then we posted all the information online and you can download the whole list and do whatever you want with it. So a lot of times when people go to post it, the companies who are in there will sue whoever posts it to take it down. So there's not an easy way to figure that out. So the safest thing to do is, once again, rotate your passwords. If you haven't rotated your passwords in the last month or 2 months or 6 months or whatever, give your passwords a good rotate. It doesn't hurt to do it. It doesn't have to be fancy, but rotate them once in a while.
So if you need a website, give them a call or go to their website, SchrockInnovations.com. If you already have a website and you want to move the hosting over to you, you can do that as well, right?
Super easy.
All right.
Absolutely.
Three locations, 2 in the Metro Omaha area, and 1, of course, in the capital city right down there in Lincoln.
All of them use Schrock Innovations.
I love how it says paid for by Schrock Innovations. Like, who else would pay for that?
Well,
is it like
American may do
is
that
there like a
sometime.
charity case?
Yeah.
Grown to like your
Some people are
service
very
so well, she
generous.
might do it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. Good to see you. All right.
Awesome.
Italy is coming.